What is up, guys? It's Brillymister here, and welcome to the all-inclusive, one and only, amazing, outstanding, ultimate Corp solo guide of 2012. I apologise in advance for any sniffing in this video, as I happen to have a cold at the point of making this, as that always seems to happen in every video I make. But nevertheless, let's go furthermore into the stats of Corp. Okay, for stats of the Corp, it was released on the 15th of September 2008. It is the second highest monster that you can kill with a team, highest being next. It has 20,000 life points, attacks with melee and magic. Its max hit is 513 with melee, 650 with magic. But as you see later in the guide, the max hit from magic can be reduced significantly. He's weak to stab. However, only spears and hasters really ever hit him, so either a Vesta spear or a Zami spear. And he's killed for the sigil drops. You can get Arcane, Spectral, Ellie, and Divine Sigil. Okay, before I go on to talking about gear, here are the absolute minimum stats I would recommend for trying to solo Corp. Obviously, the higher the better. If they're all 99, it's relatively easy. It is possible with slightly lower. I did it, I think, first with 86 magic. It just means you take a bit more damage, but I wouldn't recommend going any lower on the attack, strength, defense, or prayer. Obviously, recommended stats, as you can see on screen now, are 95 plus attack, 95 plus strength, 95 plus defense, 90 plus magic, and 95 plus prayer with curses enabled. Okay, and now probably onto the most important section, recommended gear for killing Corp. You will need Ganodermic Visor. However, you can sub this out if you're more experienced to a fighter hat. It will allow you to get slightly faster kills, but I'd still say the extra magic absorption and slight bit more magic defense from the Ganodermic Visor is much better than a slight advantage on hitting, as it'll be a more noticeable difference in using less brews. Obviously, Amulet of Fury, it's the best amulet in the game. Why would you use anything else? Ganodermic Poncho, just because that thing has insane mage defense and like mage absorption. Ganodermic Leggings, for the same reason as the previous bits of Ganodermic. Barrow's Gloves, however, you can upgrade these to Goliath Gloves if you want to, but not everybody has them, so I've put Barrow's Gloves in this demonstration. Dragon Boots, however, if you have the if you can afford them. Steadfast Boots, obviously a clear upgrade from that. Berserker Ring Eye or Onyx Ring Eye. It's debated like which one's better, but I'd say they're pretty well equal. Berserker Ring Eye allows you to hit higher, but if you have a Statius Warhammer, I'd recommend using a Berserker Ring Eye. If you're using a BGS as your spec weapon, I'd recommend using the Onyx Rings. It just allows you to hit a bit more consistently. Obviously, for your weapon Zamorakian Spear, you can use a Vesta Spear, but like it's very expensive and it'll be incredibly inefficient to do so, even though it would result in slightly faster kills and overall probably make it a bit easier. For your spec weapon, most of you, I'm going to assume, will probably be using the Bandos Godsword. Overall, it lowers the defense by 10% of what you hit, so say if you hit a 200, it takes 20 defense levels off Corp. Statius Warhammer is obviously much better, as every hit that you hit with it lowers the defense by 33%, and as you'll see in my demo solo I do later, I managed to get 6 hits with it, so you take out most of Corp's defense and it makes it incredibly easy to finish off the kill. And now onto the recommended inventory. What I've recommended here is maybe more for someone that's done a few Corp solos before and knows what they're doing, so they can probably reduce the brews used. So if it's your first time, then I'd recommend maybe taking a couple more brews and a couple less restores. But if you're more experienced, you can use this inventory setup, and you can possibly, if you're lucky, get 2 or 3 kills maybe per inventory. Basically, my inventory setup is Bandos Godsword. However, this can be subbed out for a Statius Warhammer for much more effective and much faster kills. Obviously, 1 Overload. The kill shouldn't take more than maybe 2 doses of Overload at max, but you should try to get each kill into 1 Overload, like 1. Yeah, you know what I mean. 1 prayer renewal, obviously you drink that same time as Overload, helps restore your prayer. That's not completely necessary. I mean, the short amount of time you're going to be there, you may be better off taking 1 extra brew, 1 extra restore, but I personally like to have it there so I don't accidentally manage to smite myself while in the kill, because I have a tendency to do that. Obviously you want 1 recover special just so you can deliver more specs of your spec attack weapon and drain Corp's defense, because that thing has really high defense if you don't lower it. 8 super restore flasks, although I did say you can take that down to as low as 5 if you need to. And obviously 16 sour brew flasks, but you can take that up to 19 if you take only 5 restore flasks. So that's about all for the inventory. And now we move on to the kill, and in true Blue Peter style, for any of you who know what that is, here's a kill I did earlier. I missed the beginning of the kill off, but that doesn't really matter too much. So all you've missed is me Statius Warhammer specking it a couple of times. As you can see here, soul split flicking to keep your hit points up. If you can't soul split flick, like you see me missing a couple because like I'm not amazing at it, but I mean if you like can't do it at all, it will be much harder for you because I mean you heal a lot of hit points off that during the kill. I would recommend dodging the core to begin with because stunning the core, so you're taking a lot of damage here. However, I prefer stunning the core just because I'm really bad at dodging and sometimes I have a little bit of lag issues like click lag, so I decide to stun the core. But if you're first starting out, you're probably better off either killing or just dodging the core. I got a bit unlucky on the stun there, but you know, it doesn't really matter that bad. As you can see here, continuing to soul split as much as I can. Usually, when you're in full Gano, I think Corp's max hit is about a 350 with Mage, or somewhere around that region. It's not too high, so until about 500 hit points, you're pretty good to soul split flick. Reason I'm saying 500 is because if you accidentally miss the flick and he melees you, he can still hit pretty high with his melee. That's only reduced down to about 500 with the Gano one. As you can see here, I spec recovered up and I'm going for another round of Statius Warhammer specs just to lower the defense that little bit more, help me speed the kill up a bit, get a little bit more out of my soul splits. Obviously, as you're at Corp, every soul split helps you. I soul splitted there, risked it down a little bit, and I almost died. That would have not been good if I died there. You probably want to try and keep your life points a little bit higher than I did there, but I was trying to see if my soul split could get it back up so I don't have to drink a dose of brew, because obviously brewing means your stats go under 99 for a little while until you can restore and your overload kicks back in. And obviously that means his mage attacks will hit you for more because your mage is brewed down. Obviously sour brews do boost your defense up, but as your mage defense is 70% determined by your mage level, the brew actually makes mage hit you more because your mage is brewed lower, if that makes sense to you guys. So you can see here I'm going for my last Statius Warhammer spec of the kill, just to speed up that last little bit. This wasn't the smoothest of my kills. I've done many more since, I just haven't filmed any. I got a really smooth one in which I used a Divine and Rapier. However, I really wouldn't recommend using that because the kills are they're tediously slow. I think it was an 11-minute kill, but I only used 5 brews. So if you can use a Divine and Rapier, I've heard though that Rune Hast is better, so I might try that next time I can borrow someone's Divine. But yeah, the kills go pretty smoothly with that. It's much easier. Corp's max hit is down to somewhere in the 200 then with Mage. And it's pretty well plain sailing. I got my tongue in a twist there. So as you can see now, the kill is drawing towards an end. I still have a fair amount of brews left. I don't think I would have been able to make a second kill in this trip. However, I could have probably made it maybe halfway down. If you are more experienced and think you can do more than 1 kill per trip, obviously you're not going to be able to do that really with the Bandos Godsword. However, if you have a Statius Warhammer and you have max stats, then you should probably be able to get more than 1 kill per trip if you're experienced at it. It all depends really how lucky you get with your soul split flicks. As you can see, I'm going to go for a bit of soul split in here again, just because low hit points and I don't really want to brew because obviously that lowers my defense. Soul split flicking is a really good source of healing here at Corp. Obviously, because you can't bring a familiar such as a unicorn or a tortoise, it makes it a lot more challenging. But it's a really fun boss to solo. Obviously, it doesn't make economical sense to solo it because unless you luck out and get a sigil, you're gonna make a loss on the Statius Warhammer. But if you use a Bandos Godsword, I mean, you can happily solo. You're not going to be really making that much loss then. It's only the brews. When you get even more experience again, you can just go to using 4-dose brews, obviously. But you probably won't get more than 1 kill per trip on 4-dose brews with a Bandos Godsword. But then again, it won't cost you very much, so you may actually profit from soloing it. I mean, if you get lucky and get a few of the Onyx bolt drops but not a sigil, you'll still probably have profited. Also, another thing to mention just before the end, Corp does for some reason decide to walk at the end. Don't ask me why he does that, he just does, and sometimes that means the core will like move around if you have decided to stun it. Obviously you see my drop there, and that's the end of my kill. Okay, and that concludes my solo Corp guide. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope this helped you. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. Obviously a lot of work and time has gone into making all these slides and making this guide. And favourite and subscribe if you want to see more guides like this. And thanks for watching. Bye.